We're live for day two of the NFL season. Second game down and in the books, and a couple good games. Back to back. This one I feel like was a little bit more fantasy relevant. Kevin's here. We got our Chargers winning, which is always good news, beating the evil empire of the Kansas City Chiefs. And yeah, Quentin Johnston, D-Man says. Maybe we kind of slept on Quentin Johnston. You know what's funny is like you spend the entire offseason, 7 months prepping fantasy football analysis. This is what's going to happen. And all offseason, it's like the Chargers, all the moves they make is pointing towards them going to run the hell out of the ball. And then Justin Herbert comes out and he throws the ball 34 times. Yeah. Comes back and throws the ball 34 times. It looks great. 25 of 34, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was running the ball more. He ran the ball 7 times for 32 yards. Of course, he picked up, about almost 20 on that last one. But he also had a nice run that was called back. I think that was like a 15-yarder or something. So Justin Herbert is going to be, he was kind of slept on too, right? He was kind of slept on because we thought, okay, he's going to throw the ball between maybe 30 times per game, 28 times per game. And, we know he can move, but it's not a part of his game where we can rely on it. Man, if he's going to run the ball for 20, 30 yards a game, he's going to throw the ball 35 times and look that good. That's going to be good news for sure. Yeah. So Kevin says, need to pay attention to Kansas City's schedule before the bye. Yeah. I mean, Chiefs, man. I mean, let's just go over kind of the numbers here. So Mahomes, 24 of 39, 250 yards, a touchdown. He was good on the ground too. We know that's in Mahomes' game. Any given game, Mahomes can run for 50, 60 yards like he did tonight, and he had the rushing touchdown. So fantasy-wise, he was pretty good, 250 and 1, and then he's giving you almost 12 points on the ground. That's really, really good. But the Xavier Worthy injury is a little bit concerning because if he's out and Rashee Rice is out for the next 5 games, that's going to hurt Mahomes, I think. That's going to hurt Mahomes, and all teams have to do is put a spy on them and, in terms of shutting down Mahomes' rushing ability. And I'm a little bit worried there. We don't know what Xavier Worthy, what the injury, the extent of the injury is, but just not a whole lot of not great on the Chiefs side. I mean, the people you were starting besides Mahomes, Pacheco gives you 25 yards on the ground, 3 yards, through the air with 2 catches. Travis Kelce, he does catch that touchdown. He gives you 2 for 50 basically in a touchdown. So he kind of saved his game there. Juju, 5 for 55. Hollywood Brown, man, 10 catches, 99 yards. So go out and grab Hollywood Brown once waiver wires run, because if Xavier Worthy's going to miss, I know Brown had the big 50-yarder, but still, even if he had nine for 50, like that's still good in that's still decent in PPR. So Marquise Brown could kind of be that player to go and pick up. Other deeper names. I'm just speculating if Xavier Worthy's going to be out anytime soon. Jalen Royals. I mean, I know he's been inactive and not playing and stuff, but maybe he gets a little bit. He's a rookie wide receiver there. So, yeah, Kevin's saying keep an eye on the Chiefs and their schedule, and he's mentioning it here. They have the Eagles, Ravens, Detroit, and Bills all before their bye, and they just lost, their opening game here. Chiefs schedule is tough, very, very tough. Even after the bye, it gets a little bit easier, but it's still going to be tough, especially because you have to play the Chargers another time. You have to play the Broncos twice. Raiders are going to be better. Nino says, I'm so glad I drafted Pacheco. Yeah, Pacheco was an interesting one because I feel like he was at pretty good value. where you were getting him. I've never been the biggest Isaiah Pacheco fan. And again, guys, it's week one, first game. Also, they played in Brazil. So, time difference and, just you're in a different country and travel and all of that. That's going to kind of mess things up a little bit as well. Obviously, didn't seem to mess up anything with the Chargers and their offense, or at least with Justin Herbert. But a little bit too early. I'm going to break down snaps. Right, I have snap percentages already. So I'll kind of get that to you guys. But Amarian Hampton gives you 15 carries and 2 catches. I mean, 17 touches for Amarian Hampton as I bring my brother in. Brian, I was just kind of talking about how it's funny that like you could spend the entire offseason like, oh, this is how it's all going to go down. Chargers are going to run the ball 40 times a game, and then they come out and throw the ball 35 times and run it, or drop back to pass. I don't know how many of I want to say all those Herbert runs were drop back passes. So really, they drop back to pass the ball 41 times versus 18 throwing. So just kind of crazy. So
I'm definitely glad to see Herbert running around a little bit. I'm hoping for the same thing for Trevor Lawrence this year too. Like we know it's in these dudes playbook to a certain extent, like they're obviously not runners, but they can get yards, like we saw it with Herbert. How many touchdowns did he get rushing in his rookie year? I feel like it was at least 5. Maybe it was 5. It was.
I don't remember 5.
Yeah,
he rushed. I know he rushed for 100 yards we were at the game, the Steelers Sunday night game. Herbert had like 100 yards rushing. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I mean, someone said here didn't know he had that rushing upside. Kevin said, yeah, and he does. I mean, in college, his last game at Oregon, I think he rushed for like 4 touchdowns or something. In one of their big bowl games and stuff. So it's definitely in his game. He just doesn't do it as much. But yeah, if he does it more, that's going to be awesome. I mean, 7 for 32, and he had one kind of big one called back too from a holding play. So, Marion Hampton, I mean, got the touches. I was just talking about him. Got the touches, 17 touches, but didn't really do much with it. Quentin Johnston. Are we sleeping on Quentin Johnston? He's on pace for 34 touchdowns this year. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But on top of it, he got 7 targets. Like, it was Quentin Johnston, Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen. It was like those 3 guys were getting all the targets. They got 26 targets between those 3 players. So,
yeah, I was going to say Conklin had a couple too. We talked about him. So that was nice to see that kind of play out a little bit. Like, I mean, it was all, more than half of it was on one play, right? Well, I mean, I guess more than half of it has to be on one play if it's only 2 catches. But like, I was surprised about the Quentin Johnston thing. He still did have a drop, kind of. I don't know if it's actually considered a drop, that end zone target that ended up being the Keenan Allen.
I didn't see a replay. I don't know if they showed a replay.
I feel like it was catchable. It wasn't an easy catch, but what they say about him, or what they have said about him in the past, is he can body catch, but he can't pluck the ball out of the air very well. And it was definitely one of those. And it was kind of that. So
Quentin Dropston, as they say. I'd have to go back and see.
Great showing by all the boys for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen, he got slept on a bit, I think. He had 10 targets in this game. He led the team in targets. Like, I just feel like he got kind of like, he's old. And then when you go back and actually look at what he did last year, say, actually, he was not that bad. So, I'm going to actually look at snap share stuff here. And just kind of, it's not official, but it gives you a general idea here. So Quentin Johnston played 55 snaps, looks like 55 of 67. So he was out there a lot. Um, let's see here. Lad McConkey 57, Keenan Allen 42. So obviously those are the three guys. Rookie Trey Harris. I know a lot of people were excited about him. Only 6 snaps. Actually, Keandre Lambert Smith, the other rookie, 5th round or 6th round maybe. He played more than Trey Harris. So Tyler Conklin 29, Will Disley 37. Marion Hampton 53 snaps to Najee's 12. That could just be because Najee, just came off the injury, had that eye injury stuff. So, yeah, I mean, what do you think about the Worthy injury? Is it Marquise Brown the guy to go and get? He had 10 targets in this game, or 10 catches in this game. He had 16 targets. Holy shit!
Yeah, I know you would have expected a lot more for Kelsey, but I mean, him and Juju, right? Like they were kind of the depth chart, like after Worthy, like obviously we knew Rice was going to not be there. So yeah, I mean, pick up Hollywood, pick up Juju, maybe don't start them now, like you're probably not quite doing that. Like, I don't expect you say 16 targets.
Yeah, it's 16 targets.
That's crazy.
10 catches.
For what? 90?
99. He had that
Okay.
50-yarder at the end. Yeah, so 10 for 100 basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, it definitely seemed like Hollywood was his guy to go to. I mean, obviously the game changed at the very beginning with Worthy going down. And it was nice to see the Chargers keep them on their toes, like essentially for the whole game. Like, what were the snap shares for Pacheco? Like,
yeah, I was just looking at that.
He definitely was out there more. It seemed like more like he wasn't super involved necessarily because it wasn't game script wasn't in their favor. Not that he would have been out of it necessarily, but it's good to see him get a couple of catches. Only 5 rush attempts though.
Yeah, that's.
But I mean, if you look at the individual drives, like what they were trying to do, like I felt like that first half went by pretty quick, and it was very much hurry up offense to get that field goal right before the half. And then they were kind of, playing from behind for the rest of the game. So I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and Mr. Magic's getting worried. I'm sure people are going to be worried about Pacheco, and it is only just week 1, but this was always my worry with Pacheco. I thought he was good value this year. I don't know where he actually ended up to end the draft season of like where he was being drafted, but my worry about him was just always felt like he never felt like, I'm thinking last year when I think he was in like round 4 or 5. It was just like he just doesn't feel like an essential part of their offense. But yeah, he played in only 35 of 65 snaps. Kareem Hunt played 23. So that's too much if we're going to be relying on Pacheco. Kareem Hunt playing 23 of 65 snaps is too much of a split there.
Yeah, they definitely brought in Hunt to get those to convert on those 4th downs a couple of times too. Like I definitely noticed that. Kareem Hunt also had 5 carries and 2 catches, just like Pacheco. So,
and if they're going to use Kareem Hunt in like that short yardage, why wouldn't they use him on the goal line? So that's a little concerning for Pacheco, I'd say. And Brashard Smith was in there only for eight snaps. I don't know. I don't know what it's like. What do we do? And Kevin was bringing up a good point. Like, look at the Chiefs' schedule. The Chiefs' schedule is kind of insane. Before their bye, basically until they get Rashee Rice and maybe Worthy back. They get Eagles next, Giants is fine, but then Ravens, Jags, Lions, Raiders, Commanders, Bills. So you get Ravens, Lions, Commanders, Bills before your bye. So I don't know. Are you going to be in the right great game script for him, Pacheco? That is, we'll see.
Yeah. I guess they lived long enough to become the villain, right? You know that
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Either die a
Um,
hero or live long enough to become the villain. All
yeah,
right. The NFL script is officially wrote off the Chiefs. You heard it here first, folks. No.
yep. They're done. They're done. No, they don't want the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, right? So they can have the wedding, Taylor Swift and Kelsey wedding, as the halftime show. So, and they can't do that if he's playing, right? So,
That would be great.
uh,
Um, yeah, no, but I mean, like overall takeaways from the game, like are like like obviously we're gonna get into last night's game too. Did you go live last night after the game or before? You went before, right?
before, yeah, before.
Yeah. So I mean, we can recap that a little bit. Like I felt like everyone was playing pretty well. Like all four quarterbacks played well. Like even though it didn't translate to fantasy for Dak necessarily.
Mhm.
But just like I thought they were both pretty exciting games. I mean, the first one was for the first half. Like last night was kind of two games. It seemed like that weather delay like turned it kind of into a defensive game.
Yeah,
Not blaming the Lightning, but guys kind of rested up a little bit, and I don't know. It kind of like broke the momentum of the teams. It seemed like.
yeah. Um, I am a little bit worried if Worthy misses time for Mahomes' value. I know he was good in this game, but because he gave you almost 12 points on the ground, with 57 yards rushing and a touchdown. But that can easily not be there. And this is always the fear with like these non-rushers. And Mahomes, again, he can move, but he's not a rushing guy. Is like, you need weapons too. And we've seen it with Mahomes the last couple of years where he's just been kind of like meh, right? Like he's just been kind of mid, as they say. So I'm a little bit worried about that if Worthy misses extended period of time. So um, I offered Pacheco and Pollard for JT, the same guy who offered me Worthy and Chubb for BTJ. Worthy and Chubb, yeah, yeah. Trading with people is hard, man, because people never. Yeah, I don't know. It's just trading with people is. It's even I don't know. I don't know if it's worse in Dynasty or easier, but you get some wacky trades in Dynasty as well. People still offering me like
Yeah,
a second round pick for Bryce Young in a super flex league. You know,
yeah. I think it's tough, especially like if you don't know who you're playing with. Like you kind of
Mhm.
like once the league's been going for like 2 years or so, like you should kind of know like the tendencies at least a little bit. But I mean, hopefully at that point you either at least made offers or received offers from everybody, or you've seen them make transactions. So it's kind of like, okay, like you kind of get a feel for what their perception of value is, I guess.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, we're on year 4, right? And so we kind of know what drives our dynasty league. It might not be what we think is correct, as far as like what you pay for what. But I
Mhm.
don't know. Some people just love picks, and some people want vets, and there's a bunch of people in between too.
Yeah. Yeah. So last night's game, uh, yeah, like you said, like Dak, I thought played really well. I thought he looked really good, made a lot of like really good throws and stuff. And obviously the CD Lamb drops kind of killed him. And who knows what kind of game he would have had with he makes those catches. You got to be a little bit excited on Javante. Are you potentially looking already to kind of like sell high on Javante? He had 15 carries. I can pull up their their snap share as well, and all of that. But he had 15 carries, 2 touchdowns.
77% according to Sleeper.
77.
So, yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you can get for him, right? Like, find that Cowboy.
Pacheco. Someone says straight up, I'll give you Pacheco for Javonte. What are you taking?
I mean, after you read off that schedule, like, I don't think so. Like,
isn't that crazy? Like, it's just funny how fast things change in football, fantasy football. Like, it's just like how far apart were those guys in drafts?
Probably 2 rounds. Like, maybe even a little more. Like, I felt like Javonte was going in round 10 plus in a lot of the leagues, and Pacheco was falling quite a bit. Like, he started to move back up. It might have actually been more closer to 4 rounds now that I think about it, because I felt like Pacheco was like a 6-7 kind of guy.
So yeah, Pacheco. I mean, I don't know what date range this is, but Pacheco average ADP was 5.9. Javonte was 9.2. So almost 4 round difference. 3.5 round difference there. And after one game, it can just change like that. Trying to think like who else would be a potentially like who could you flip him for realistically, and would you take it? I guess it's hard to say for sure.
You got to pull up them draft boards.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Now I was just gonna say, like, maybe it's a buy low for Pacheco. Like, if people are actually out on him, look at the receiver that you got in round 10 and offer that guy up.
Yeah. Would you take Javonte or
Olave?
Jaylen Warren? Yeah, Olave.
I think I'd rather have Olave. And Warren's kind of an interesting one. I think I'd still want Javonte.
It's another one where it's like that's a 2 round difference, round and a half difference.
Yeah, I wasn't high on Warren necessarily. Like, I mean, he's got some competition at least. Like, I know what the Steelers are saying, but like, I mean, as far as I could tell, Miles Sanders kind of fumbled his way out of his job, kind of thing. Like he had that nice run. Like, that must have been what, the 30, 40-yard run that he had.
Miles 49 Sanders. Yards, yeah.
Yeah. So
49s.
Yeah, it was a nice run.
Yeah.
And then he fumbled when it kind of really counted.
Yeah. And that was a tough defense too. Like, Javonte only averaged 3.5 yards per carry, 2 catches. So, but tough defense. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see like how we knew there was potential value there, and we were always kind of like talking about like, I know you took Javonte in a couple of drafts, and we were always talking about like, yeah, Javonte, like you're potentially getting the starting running back, for the Cowboys. So yeah, he looked good. We'll see if Jaden Blue comes on. There was something else I was gonna say, and then I forgot.
And don't panic on Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Like, they just weren't part of this game plan necessarily. Like, Saquon obviously looked awesome, but it's a long season. They're probably going to have to whip it around a little bit more. Like, it was just so crazy, like how much offense was happening. Like, it seemed like every drive was a scoring drive for those first 2 quarters, plus that little bit of the third before the Lightning.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of like, all right, what did you guys talk about at halftime? And then during that break.
Yeah, it was a little strange to see. Like, yeah, just, I don't know, maybe them having to warm up again or something like that. But Mr. Magic's asking about Keenan Allen being this productive, and like, I don't know, like for a good portion of the season, he could be. I think we all kind of slept on Keenan Allen a little bit. Like even last year, we were talking about how terrible the Bears, they fired their head coach and offensive coordinator change and all of that. And Keenan Allen was still getting, he still had 121 targets last year, and we always talk about like targets are an earned thing. And that's in 15 games, by the way. He was 137 target pace. He had 70 catches. He was still getting almost 5 catches a game. Like he wasn't bad last year. He was just kind of on a bad team, So, and now he's reunited with Herbert. What's that?
Plus the age factor.
Yeah, I mean, it was fair to like bring up the age for sure. I mean, he's 33 years old, but like he wasn't necessarily like that bad last year, as bad as I think we thought. He definitely didn't seem just like completely washed. So
yeah, and honestly, like he's the type of game that he plays, like not all receivers are created equal. Like he's not just like a burner, like just running downfield and stuff. He's more of a route running type of guy. Like, I mean, he had so many aspects of his game, and like those guys seem to age a little better as far as like they don't just kind of like disappear. Like we saw it with Stephon Diggs just this last year. Like he was on a really good pace until the age caught up with him as far as like the injury. But I mean, that injury happens to rookies and everything. I think it was about a week and a half ago. I think I took Keenan Allen in one of our mock drafts as like my second to last pick, and you're like, oh, I like that. Like, so
yeah.
I mean, the dude's a baller. Like, we'll see how well he holds up. The season is long for sure, but I mean, being reunited with Herbert is great. I saw someone asked, it was Kevin asked if Allen and Huge will affect Ladd McConkey's value. And it's like, well, I mean, I think he was a little overvalued already as wide receiver 10. It was hard to like say who was in front of him as far as like the guys that were behind him, right? Like we kind of talked about that in the off season. Like he's going to get his targets and everything. And we know he's good and he is reliable for sure. Like he's a great football player, but he's not necessarily like the alpha for any given team. He was kind of forced to be last year, and it worked out pretty well for him. But like, I mean, when they drafted McConkey, it was kind of like, all right, hopefully Huge can stick it up or, step it up and he can be the Mike Williams, and then Laddie will be the Keenan Allen for Justin Herbert, and we'll just like run it back kind of a thing. Yeah. That was last year, and it didn't quite work out that way. So maybe Keenan Allen will be good for Ladd McConkey's value in the future. Maybe not necessarily for the first half of this season, but maybe maybe the little lad can learn something from Mr. Keenan Allen.
Yeah, and Keenan Allen looked good, just like running routes and his start and stop and stuff. So, and he's motivated. He is 18 catches now away from 1,000 career catches. So, only 15 players in the history of the NFL have caught 1,000 passes. So, it looks like Keenan Allen's going to get there. He's under 20 now. So, yeah, I think he's going to be good. And Quentin Johnston could be good. I mean, last year he caught 8 touchdowns of 8 of 23. So he caught 30 over 30% of Justin Herbert's touchdown passes, and he caught 2 more today. Like maybe that's the role he's going to play. He's going to be that red zone effect. So Kyle mentions he's going to double flex Allen. It's Shakir and Coleman. I have Jacoby Myers, but I think that the stack will help. I have Pickens and now Worthy is out of my matchup. What are your thoughts? So you already started Pickens and Worthy. You're going to talk. You're going to start Shakir and Coleman. I think I'd be trying to put in Jacoby Myers there. I know we're excited about Coleman. I still need to kind of see it. I'm fine with like taking him in drafts where he was going and the upside, but like we still got to see it. Like I wasn't really big on him coming out of college for some reasons, and it kind of translated last year in the NFL a little bit. Not to say he was bad, and maybe the injury that made him miss 4 weeks kind of he seemed to start to get going a little bit before that injury, but I don't know if I'm gonna Jacoby Myers, man, he's a good receiver, so I think I want to put him in over.
I mean, Jacoby Myers and Khalil
Coleman.
Shakir are essentially the same player, or like they have like the same kind of upside kind of thing. Like so play Coleman and Jacoby. Like I feel like they're more like floor. Is what I'm getting at. Obviously, Shakir can get a touchdown, but I mean, what's the over under on Coleman versus Shakir, or sorry, Coleman plus Shakir touchdowns? It's got to be like 1.5, right? Like for both of them, it's like, are you going to necessarily get 2 touchdowns if you play both those guys? Like, I don't know. Just throw Coleman in there. Play Jacoby.
Are you going for upside because you started Pickens and Worthy and you got, what'd you get between those guys? Like 5 points at the most? So you thinking Coleman has the most upside of those guys?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to think for sure. Yeah, no, I would. So then would you, so you like more Jacoby and Coleman over Shakir and Coleman or Shakir and Shakir and Coleman.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not many points between. Yeah, I mean, wasn't Worthy missed like he played 3 snaps or something. So freaking Kelsey taking him out.
Yeah, it's all right. I know he was like, "Fuck this guy."
Yeah. Invited to my wedding.
Yeah, a lot of Ollie Gordon is an option. I'm probably starting Ollie Gordon this week in that listener league.
Yeah, it sounds like the Achan's going to be playing, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he will, but I don't really have too many options in that league. I went very receiver heavy, so you got to be weak somewhere.
Yeah,
not necessarily Ollie Gordon as RB2 week, but it's a decision that I made.
Yeah, Achan's full participant, so I probably wouldn't start Ollie Gordon over. I mean, obviously our listener leagues is different. We play in deep leagues, but I think I would go with Keon Coleman. I would go with one of those 3.
Yeah, I would go with the receivers over Ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough week for the receivers in Philly. Outside of Goddard, obviously, like he always seems to play well against Dallas. I don't know if they do that shit on purpose or what, but Pickens was a big letdown, but Dak missed him a little bit. Well, actually, you know what? No, he had at least one big play called back for pass interference, or not called back, but they got the yardage for PI. On Pickens. Like I felt like he kind of had him. So I feel like there might have been 2. I'm still kind of like learning everyone's numbers all over again now, like especially like newer players and guys that I haven't really watched as much.
Yeah. No, it was 2 big drops by CD, and then that last one was pretty tough to catch. Like that would have been an amazing catch.
The diving one.
Yeah, I mean, he got his hands on it, so I don't think it's a drop, but it's a catchable pass.
No, but Pickens had a 50-yard pass interference call in the first quarter, I think.
Yeah.
It was a big
Yeah, I
one.
know.
For
Yeah, I think
sure.
you're right. Yeah, I do think you're
Yeah.
right. Um, are they a buy then? Are the Philly wide receivers a buy? Um,
If
yeah,
you
if people
can,
are
yeah.
undervaluing them. I don't know if I want to buy. I was a little bit nervous about Devonta Smith this year. I mean, obviously we know how good he is. I just don't know if Philly's going to throw the ball enough. It's the issue. Like they won a Super Bowl not throwing the ball that much. Like why would they go away from that? You know. Um, and so he's always a little scary, especially if Goddard's healthy and AJ Brown and all of those guys are all healthy. Like, um, again, it kind of depends on your lineup build. If you play in deeper leagues, I like Devonta Smith a little bit more. But if you play in like a start 7, 8, it's tough to get a potential goose egg or 3 for 16 from Devonta Smith. So, um, but AJ Brown for sure. I think he would. I think he would. Um, I think he's going to be good. He also came in kind of injured, if you remember. There was a kind of injury stuff floating around with him, so I don't know how healthy he was, but I expect him to have a big game, or one of them to have a big game, if not both, next week. So high on Hurts. If he won, I mean, I just think this is what Hurts is going to do. This is what he's literally done every year
Yeah. I mean,
since he
he
took
was
over as the
what?
starter.
He was the fourth or fifth quarterback drafted, so I don't think you're moving up necessarily on a quarterback. So, I mean, I guess you'd have to be willing to tear down, which is
Yeah.
you have to be getting a significant piece.
But I interpret sell highs as like we don't think he's gonna do this, and I think he is just gonna do this. Like
I know
this is
this
what
is kind of
Jalen Hurts does.
yeah,
I mean, the
yeah. I
guy
mean,
literally has had double-digit touchdowns in 4 straight years rushing. So
yeah. I mean, 2 total touchdowns in like per game is like kind of like chalk for him, right? Like
mhm.
whether he's throwing them or running them in, or one of each, and like I don't know. You almost want to put the over under for at 2.5 for him, but it's like you can't quite do that. It's kind of right at 2.
Yeah, no, I mean you're exactly right. Like he's basically on pace for that every year, about 34 total touchdowns. So
Yeah.
um, this is what he's going to do. So sell high again to me implies that you don't, Javante's a sell high. You can make that argument potentially that he's a sell high because a lot of people won't believe that if you have him that he won't continue to he's not going to get 2 touchdowns every game obviously, but but Jalen
Hey,
Hurts is like no, this is what I expect. What's that?
I just said, hey, I
Yeah, I mean
drafted
hopefully he
him.
does.
I drafted him as I think he might be my first running back I drafted in our redraft listener league. So it's
Yeah, I
like
think it
I
might have
kind of
been.
need him to get 2 touchdowns every week.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. What about CMC? How nervous are you there with CMC? Like on the injury report, not practicing, calf injury.
I'm hoping they're just resting him, but that's what we thought last year, And then it's like, oh yeah, he's gonna play, and then he fucking didn't, and for 7 weeks.
If it was a playoff game, he would be playing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is just a resting thing.
Yeah, I hope so. I have enough shares of him, so we shall see.
Yeah, I mean Brian Robinson, obviously, if he's out there, needs to be scooped up. I'm sure he's drafted everywhere, but you never know. God, what are the 49ers doing in their practice? They have like 15 guys on the injury report. Garendo, it looks like, is going to play as well, so he also should be picked up. Do you have any type of lean? Garendo, Brian Robinson, or is it just like I have no idea?
I mean, Garendo's
just
been there.
cannibalize each other.
Yeah, I mean, Garendo's been there, but they traded for Brian Robinson, so I don't really have a strong lean. Like it probably will be a huge, just neither one of them are startable. But I mean, I say that, and as I'm saying it, it's like that's not how San Francisco running backs work. Like
Yeah.
it's like just feed this one guy a shit ton, and then he gets hurt, and then bring in the next guy. So
Mhm.
I'll give the edge to Brian Robinson because he's been healthy, but he hasn't been there as long. That's tough.
Yeah, it is. I think Orendo has a little bit more upside, though. I think he could just like Brian Robinson's a fine running back, but I think Orendo could be like, oh, he's actually really damn good. So, yeah, I don't know what other injury news there was, but we'll probably take off here unless there's any other questions that you guys have. As always, if you're new, hit the like and subscribe as we march towards 1,400. Join our Discord if you're not already in there. Leaving the link there in the chat. It's going to be live tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow morning and Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. I'll come up with some prop bets. I'll look at some sleeper prop stuff because I have the itch. I was actually kind of sad I didn't get in on a little, after we ended our draft on Wednesday, and I said, I might go do some underdog after this, and I just went to bed because I had work in the morning on Thursday, so I didn't even get that in.
Yeah. There's there was one prop I heard on one show. Oh, it was like Cooper Kupp's over under, which sounded like I think it was like 40 yards or something like that. That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah,
take the over
that.
there. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Get some props in and stuff. But yeah, any other questions? Leave it in the chat, or leave it for tomorrow, I guess. And yeah, hopefully you guys aren't too down. I always hate Thursday night. Now we have a Friday night game where it's just like you feel like you've already lost the week, but it's never like that. You can always come back. All it takes is your opponent to have one or two goose eggs or whatever, and you're back on even ground, So, but yeah, I know that feeling of just like, damn, I've started 3 guys and I have 10 points, and my opponent, has 28, 20, 30 points on one player. So
stop looking at my guys.
Yeah, I was just looking at some of my leagues.
I have a few of those, like where it's like, oh, I started 3 guys and I have 14, and they started CeeDee Lamb. Shit.
I got 3 guys here. I had Hurts, Javonte, and Conklin. Tight end premium. So Conklin, 50 yards.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin's asking, what are we doing with CMC? I mean, you got to hold at this point. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you drafted him, you know what the risk was, right? Like, and so that's why he kind of fell. So, I mean, you're playing for first place when you drafted CMC late in the first or early in the second. So, I don't know. I'm not selling him for a guy that was drafted in the 4th round right now.
Okay, so how low would you go? Like, let's just think straight up. Someone comes to you and offers you Chase Brown.
Yeah, I honestly probably would do that because they were close enough in my head already.
Yeah. Bucky Irving.
Yeah, I mean, Chase and Bucky were kind of the same guy. I'd throw Kyron in there too.
Okay, what about James Cook? Someone says, here's James Cook for CMC.
That might be my line.
CMC.
I think I'm just keeping CMC.
If they threw in like Jordan Addison or Khalil Shakir, or would that kind of push it?
It maybe. Are we
they give you another
right now?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like they give you like another like fringe starter or something. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind just taking like okay, so Marian Hampton or CMC, you're taking CMC, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep him.
Tyreek, T. Higgins.
Well, oh, just for CMC straight up.
Well, one of them, not both of them, but
Yeah,
Tyreek
yeah,
or
yeah.
T.
No,
Higgins.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's tough. I don't. I think I kind of agree with you. I wouldn't. I don't hate like pivoting. I would want to squeeze a little bit more or something if someone was just offering like a James Cook or T. Higgins or JSN, Kamara, whatever. But yeah, if you can pivot to Kyron or what about AJ Brown after week one? Which side you taking, CMC or AJ Brown?
Yeah, I'll still take CMC.
Okay. Like, are you factoring in what AJ Brown did yesterday, or
No,
what is just okay.
no. I mean, I wanted CMC before AJ Brown, and honestly, like they were close for me in the draft in general, but I think I still had the other running backs that we mentioned. You know, Bucky, Chase Brown, and Kyron right around like a little in front of AJ Brown, or kind of like in that same mix for sure.
Yeah. Worried about McConkey with Allen and Johnston producing. Yeah, I mean, I was always kind of out on McConkey where he was going. Not that I don't like the guy. I'm a Chargers fan. I think he's awesome, but like I just thought he was, and we talked about it in Dynasty and redraft. 2-3 turn for McConkey was just too rich for me, and it wasn't even necessarily because of Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen producing like they did. It was more because I just thought this team was going to run the ball 35, 40 times. And that was obviously wrong. They handed the ball off. They dropped back to pass 40 times and they, ran the ball 18, 20 times. So that was my thinking. So that obviously still could be true. So yeah, I was always kind of out. I was definitely, guys like AJ Brown, Kyron, James Cook, Tyreek, T. Higgins. I was in on all those guys over McConkey. I thought of him more as like more of a 3-4 turn type of guy. I think the upside is probably going to be limited for McConkey, but I think he's probably going to give you. I just always felt like this is what McConkey was this kind of like receiver that's going to give you 7, 6, 7, 8 catches, 70, 80 yards, and the occasional touchdown. Which is great, but it's not like. It's not going to be 1,500 total yards and 12 touchdowns and stuff. So
I think McConkey, like I said earlier, like maybe Pokey Varsity wasn't there. Or I don't know if this is a Pokemon thing or if this is a fish thing. Pokemon. I'm not really sure. Yeah. It's got like the little line above the E, so I don't really know. But like, yeah, I mean, like I thought McConkey was like a little inflated value dynasty wise and in redraft this year because it's like, well, there wasn't a strong argument. Like he was kind of the beginning of the next tier, and it was like a pretty big ass tier. And so it was kind of like, all right, well, I don't necessarily want him there, but I mean, 6 for 74 tonight, like, yeah, that's what you should expect for him. I mean, that's 13.5 PPR points, like,
yep.
You can't really be too sad with that. I mean, where you drafted him, maybe you are a little sad, but that's kind of just the name of the game.
Yeah. He said he got him at the 3-4 turn. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I think that
perfect.
I think that was good to draft him there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So real quick, Kevin, it's AJ Brown and it's not even close.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's don't freak out too much. AJ Brown's awesome, and they're definitely going to have a squeaky wheel game here coming up. What do you think of his lineup? He says he has Bo Nix, Derrick Henry, Bucky Irving, Puka, McConkey, Sutton, and Laporta at tight end. So you got Henry. How'd you get Henry 10 team? You got Henry, Irving, Puka, McConkey. I mean, damn.
Those are all like those are like first 24 or let's say first 28 picks in like a normal league. So yeah, you did great. Sorry, like I meant Henry, Irving, Puka, McConkey. So someone fell.
Yeah, and then Sutton wasn't that. I mean, he is assuming that's what one. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so if Sutton was your 5th round pick, which is right around where he was going. Yeah, that's a really good team. Laporta probably in round 6, and then maybe Knicks or Laporta and Knicks back to back. So no, that's a really good team. Really good team. So, but yeah, we'll be back tomorrow talking more if you guys want to vent about Pacheco or McConkey or whatever. But yeah, he's definitely a stay patient with him and just kind of expect this from McConkey, like 13.5 PPR points, 15 PPR, he's going to catch the occasional touchdown and have bigger games and stuff. But if he's giving you this, he's going to have games worse than this, of course. But if he's giving you this consistently, you're going to be happy with that. So, yeah. Any last words before we head out?
No.
Good to go.
I'm already looking at like how shitty my teams did today.
I know. Yep. We already hate fantasy football. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow morning. Appreciate everyone and see you all then.